Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to the survival series where last episode we completed the mega Guardian farm project that you can see right here, and in between episodes I've been doing a little bit of AFKing, and when I say a little bit, I really do mean a little bit. This is like half an hour's worth of drops. The crystals aren't too high, but the shards go very high up in the chest, and we also get a little bit of ink as well somewhere. Yeah, so it's all working really well. This farm is kind of awesome, honestly. I'm probably going to need bigger and better storage at some point soon, I imagine, but I just want to say thank you so much everybody who went over to my Twitch after watching last episodes and gave me a follow over there. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed tuning in to the streams in the future where we are going to be doing some more work over on this area. But that is not what we're going to be working on today, because in this episode we are in fact going to be making the long-awaited return back to the custom village project, which I'm guessing most of you watching right now have seen before and have been waiting for me to come back to this, asking me when I'm going to start work on the village again, and I'll explain why it's taken me a little bit long to actually come back to this place. But before we do, I'm guessing there's quite a few of you watching right now who have joined me post 1.16, and this is all very brand new looking to you. So in case that does happen to fit your criteria, welcome to Fisher's Nest, I believe we called this, also known as Havre de Pêcheur. Something in French, I forget, it's been a while since I've named it, but yeah, this is my custom fishing village project town. I'm not sure how we can actually define it, but as you can see, it's very much incomplete at the moment. If I just kind of cut off here, sort of, minus the concrete powder there, looks like a pretty good village, but we've still got a whole bunch of room left to fill in. And yeah, I took a little bit of a break from this for a couple of reasons. One is because, well, the Nether update happened, 1.16 came out, and I was a little bit preoccupied with playing with all of the new stuff, and I've had my fair share of fun doing that in the past few episodes, but I was also getting a little bit burnt out on this. We did many consecutive episodes just working here solely in the village, and I got a little bit bored of it and wanted to take a break, but I'm back feeling re-energized, ready to do some more work. However, I am going to change up the way we do things over here in this village in the episodes to come. Basically, it's not going to be the sole focus of the series anymore, because when we were working on this place, this is literally all we did. Nothing else in the world, just the village, and that is why I got so burnt out so very quickly. I think what we're going to do in future here to kind of counteract that and stop that from happening is just chip away at it every now and again, bit by bit. So whether that's maybe we go and build a farm elsewhere in the world or do another base somewhere else, we could possibly come back here and just do a couple of buildings at the end of the episode maybe, or I could possibly do a little bit off camera and catch you up once we start an episode, or maybe do a bit in the streams. I'm not sure, but there are going to be a couple of episodes here and there like the one today where it is the sole focus and we only start work on the village project, or only work on the village project I should say. But yeah, I don't want this just to become basically another Techtopia, because that's what I felt like was happening a little bit before we took a break. So it's going to be something we do every now and again, but don't worry, we're not going to just stop. It's going to be something that's even more of a gradual process. So pretty much we are not going to be done anytime soon. This is going to be a very long project, and I don't think that's a bad thing. This is something I want to kind of pour my heart and soul into and get it to be something that I'm really quite happy with. And I can't really do that if I'm rushing and only working on this place. I need a break every now and again, so hopefully you guys can understand why it's taken me a little bit of time to actually return to this place. Plus, I was kind of hoping to wait for Optifine and Replay mod, but currently still don't have that, which is a shame because I like using shaders and doing some cool time lapses over here. But unfortunately, the next one we're going to see is a time lapse with my second account, which is not quite as interesting as Replay mod. I keep going on about that, I know. I'm waiting, just gonna pounce on that Replay mod as soon as I can. But yeah, this one, it's gonna be lacking shaders, lacking movement, but it's still going to be a time-lapse of a build we are going to do in this village, which is actually the Blacksmith Shop. Gonna go right there, I think. I may have forgot to put on my resource pack for that time lapse. Whoopsie! But as you can see, the glass is looking the way it usually does. This is my custom resource pack in case anybody is unsure why the glass looks the way it does. I really wish this was a feature in normal Minecraft. I feel like people would use it all the time. I wouldn't even mind paying some iron to make these, say. They just look so good and perfect for medieval type buildings. Not that this is really all that medieval. I guess it is a little bit, but anyway, it's a very nice window. I wish it was in a normal game, but yeah, this right here is our blacksmith shop. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it looks quite nice. I'm still undecided on whether or not I like this texture or if we should just go with the straight up white concrete. I guess I can just add it in and then eventually go around and change it all out if I decide against it, but I think I like it. It looks better from a distance. Like if we look at the town hall over there. Looks quite good, I say. You can just see the tiniest bit of texture. But anyway, we're talking about the blacksmith shop, and I've actually gone ahead and done the interior. So let's head inside and take a look around. And the first thing you notice is we drop down a little bit, and I absolutely love doing this. Just having those windows on the ground level here, kind of like looking up at all of the passers-by, I just think looks super duper cool and allows us to have 2 levels to a building without it reaching a crazy height, which I also quite like. So yeah, we got a pretty stonified bottom area here where the armor is all sold. So the armorer, sorry, would sell his armor made in the armory, very confusing, and they would be sold in this area of the blacksmith shop. So we got some gold, some iron, some chain, and some diamond up here on these dark prismarine pedestals. And also, not entirely sure why I did this. It's a little bit of a waste, but I used a netherite ingot. I got like 4 or so remaining, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, I made a bit of a helmet in a display case over here with a key to get inside, or a lock, I guess that would be. So yeah, there's that. Probably a bit of a mistake, but hey, I did it anyway. And then I've also added in a smithing table over here in hopes that when we bring over some random villagers, one of them will pick this workstation and kind of just hang around down here. I know this isn't the armorer's workstation, that is the blast furnace. I think this one is for the toolsmith, but I think it looks better than just having a weird blast furnace here. Also, sideways chains, look at that. Pretty cool, right? Anyway, that's the bottom floor, so the armor stuff is all down here. And on the top floor is basically everything else. So at the end here, we have the desk where the person who runs this shop would stand and sell all of the items. I may put like a workstation back here or something, so one of those nitwit villagers can come and pick it up and kind of just hang about here all day. I think would be pretty cool. But he's got some storage, and then basically everything else is just tools and other bits of metalwork that would be created in various different places in the village. So we got a bunch of swords and axes and other tools, a couple of diamond ones hung up on the wall there, and then we also have some buckets, some shears, and then some horse armor, which we actually need to do something with next. Since we are going to sell some of that in our shop, or at least pretend to, we should probably display it somewhere. So I'm thinking we get some horses out the front and kind of tie them up and put some armor on them, just to show the customers, you know, what they would actually be purchasing, because of course you can't display horse armor on armor stands like this with the human armor, so we need to get a living armor stand, aka a horse. And I've got all of my stuff here ready to go. We'll do that in just a second, but I noticed something that really quite perplexed me a little bit, and I don't know if this is a new feature or just something I've never noticed before, but this diamond pickaxe here, has it always had this color? I don't know if it's like a problem with my resource pack or News 1.16 or just has always been the case and I've never really paid attention to it, but yeah, I thought it was this color all the way around. I've never really noticed that before, but it's the same with the shovel and the axe and all of the other tools, so you guys will have to let me know whether I'm just being silly and I've never noticed it or it's actually a new feature, because I genuinely don't know. I've tried Googling as well and I still don't really have a straight answer. But anyway, let's go ahead and tame these horses. I don't know if there's any around. Oh, there's a kitty over there. Don't know if you can see that or not. But yeah, I think we'll just get these two. Oh, there's another guy over there. Yeah, I think we'll get these guys. So now I need to do the usual thing of sitting on them until they love me. Could be here a while. Come on then, horse number 2, you are coming with me. There's horse number 1, he can't wait to be tied up for life. So I've set up a little bit of a hay bale stack and a cauldron for them to drink out of, because, you know, I'm not a horrible horse owner. I'm at least going to give them something to eat and drink if I'm going to just tie them on this rope for eternity. So there you go. You can actually have the gold horse armor because you took longer to love me, and that's what you get. So if you could just push back a little bit there, that would be great. And then horse number 1, if you could come on over this way, you get the shiny diamond horse armor. I bet you're very excited to wear that. Not going to weigh you down at all, but there you are, looking super spiffy. And yeah, that just kind of completes our blacksmith shop. Hopefully they don't become unhooked. I think these have got a lot better recently in the game, so fingers crossed they actually stay attached. Oh, buddy, do I have some good news. Are you ready to hear it, sheep? I bet you're very excited, almost as much as me. Can't get any face in the camera there. Let's pan back over here. So guys, we are now in 1.16.2, the full release. No more snapshots, no more pre-releases, which means hopefully soon, fingers crossed by next episode, we might be able to have our hands on Optifine and Replay mod, or at least sometime soon in the future. So yes, I am very, very excited for that. This is actually the first time I've seen these sideways chains in my survivor world here. You actually have to do some technical changes with some JSON files and block states and boring stuff like that if you run a custom texture pack like I do here. So I've made those changes. We now actually have these things, which is pretty cool. And I discovered something that's quite fun. A bit of an unusual staircase design, but you can fly right up that thing, just alternating between chains and iron bars. That's what those things are called. So yeah, I don't know when this would be of use to anyone, but it's there if you want it. Anyway, let's return to the village and do some more work. So I do actually have another build design in mind, and I think it's going to go somewhere along that road. But for right now, I need to work on this area a little bit because there really isn't room to put another building in here, and I don't particularly want to. So I'm thinking what we do instead is drag the road on round this way a little bit and connect it up to where a road is actually going to go. That is what the yellow concrete powder signifies, and maybe just complete it around here and then connect it up to the other side. But then obviously we do have the rest of the terrain to actually fill in this little hill that we have. So I might take this down just a notch because it's a bit too high, like maybe just take out some of that. Sorry, very loud grass noises. But just smooth that out a little bit and then maybe do a couple of custom trees, some other bits of foliage, and possibly through here we can have like a little bit of an alley, an unofficial road. So these are this is our main road design, lots of stone and cobble and all of that, looking very solid and structured. But on the little alleyways we have this, which is like meant to be a dirty, muddy path that has kind of taken shape over time from where people have, you know, gone the shortcut and taken that route instead, and it's kind of just got very muddied up over time because there's no actual stone on the ground. So yeah, maybe we do something like this for that small section. And yeah, wrap the road round as I said. Alright, as you can see, the road has now been put in place, winding all the way around. The horses are blocking the path a little bit, but that's okay, we can just weave our way around them. And yeah, I've kind of just bone milled the sides and placed down some pretty flowers like we've been doing elsewhere in the village. That is a little bit too much flower action, I think. We'll just place that one over there for now. Much better. I've left this open for now just because I don't really know what we're going to do from this point forth. Probably take a road on round somewhere else. But yeah, we connect up back to the other side over here where we originally had a cutoff point, and then of course through the middle we have our muddied walkway leading on round to the other side and also up to this house right here, because this one was the only doorway that didn't have a path right out the front of it, so I thought I'd better add that in. Bit muddy, but I'm sure they won't mind that much, they'll get used to it. And over here, instead of adding in another custom tree, I actually made a little bit of a bee garden using some of the beehives on top of scaffolding with some podzol underneath, making it look all honeyfied down there on the ground below it. There are bees inside, I just don't know where they are right now. There they are, they're being a little bit shy. So yeah, we actually have some babies. I'm doing a little bit of breeding up. I've actually taken these from my house over there at the starter house where we have all of the beehives up in the loft. I've replaced them, don't worry, the population is still fine over there. It's working much better now. But yeah, I've just added a little bit of a bee garden instead of a custom tree because I thought that was a bit more interesting. I need to remind myself to actually do that when we have these big open spots. Not to just put a bunch of bone meal down and make a tree. I want to do interesting things. We've done it a couple of times elsewhere in the village, like over here for example. We had a bit of a spot, so I covered it up with a wall and just put a bunch of the 2 high flowers behind. I think looks quite nice. And yeah, a few elsewhere places we have that, like we got a bit of a well over here, I think somewhere, yeah, right there. And then carrying on around this way, we have a miniature berry garden. And talking of berries, something I would really love to do in this village, because I think it would work extremely well, is have a huge berry field. Not like that massive, but maybe the same size as our crops over here, which is looking very weird. Not all of these have been harvested. I can maybe do with some more villagers, but yeah, maybe have something that size, possibly over here where we have that gap in the pathway. We could do something like that. Maybe as a place where they make wine or something like that. We could make a winery over here if I can figure out how to build one of them. Hello, little kitty cat. But yeah, that's the point we're at right now. I think it looks pretty good. And I think we're just going to jump straight into the next build that I have planned for today, which is actually a jeweler. Not sure if it really looks like a jeweler's building. We'll see once we actually build it and take a look inside. But I think it's going to go right here. And then we'll probably also bend the pathway round and connect it up to the other side. Maybe even go all the way to the cartographer's house behind us. You know, there really isn't a great angle to view this building from. This building right here, the weaponsmith, kind of gets in the way a lot. But I guess I can do a quick swing round and just show you the things that didn't quite make it into the time lapse. So this is the back of the house right here. Looking a little bit boring right now, mainly because we haven't done anything around the back. So it's all quite empty and open. We'll get that looking better once we do eventually do some stuff around here. But for now, it's one great big unknown what the rest of this is going to look like, at least in my head. And then this is the final side. There's not a whole lot going on with this house, to be honest. It's quite a small one, but out the front, I actually really quite like this. We have a bit of a staircase leading up to our doorway with a flower garden on the side here. It does get pretty close to the balcony of the weaponsmith's house, but then again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I like the coziness. It's a good thing in my opinion, but let's head inside and take a look around. So with this jeweler's, there really isn't a lot of room inside of here, so there's only a limited amount of things I could actually do. And basically, I'm just displaying a bunch of different items that look like they could be worth some sort of valuable in these item frames. So maybe this eye of ender is some sort of pearl you could put on a ring or something like that. Maybe we've got a watch over here for sale, another gem. I guess that can be the same with the diamond, possibly a necklace, maybe some sort of rock that you could collect, a crystal maybe. I don't know, got to use your imagination a little bit, but all in all, I think it's quite nice in here. I've got a cartographer's table placed down in the corner because I'm hoping to be able to get a cartographer villager in here because they have that monocle. I think they'd suit quite nicely in this place. Admittedly, wrong profession and everything, but I guess it's as close as we're going to get. And with that monocle, they kind of look like they're inspecting the gems, making sure they're actually legitimate, you know, something like that. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get one in here at some point, but I think I've said this before, we're not moving any proper villagers into this place, aside from our actual profession ones, until I'm fully finished and kind of have it lit up to a significant level. But yes, that right there is the jeweler's building, and I think that is actually, oh hello bee friend, oh I missed a block, don't have anything on me. I can, I'll fix that later. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for everything in the village today because we are running out of time. And there's one last thing that I would very quickly like to do before we say goodbye. And that is to thin the herd a little bit when it comes to my chickens over here. So we are at my free range animal barn where we have sheep, cows on the other side, pigs, and too many chickens. If you guys can remember, a couple of episodes ago, we needed a whole bunch of wither roses, and the way I did this was basically get a butt ton of eggs, hatch them all in the end, spawn a wither, and yeah, they all died. It was kind of morbid, to be honest, but I needed all of those eggs to make an egg farm in the first place, and this is how I got them. I now need to dispose of these guys, shall we say. That right there is a good job done. It's much quieter over here, a lot fewer entities causing potential lag. I'm very glad I did that. Should have probably done it a lot sooner, but yes, I now have tons and tons of raw chicken and feathers, and I already had a ton from when we killed them all in the actual egg farm a couple of episodes ago, so if I ever need to make a large amount of book and quills for some reason, I guess I am sorted, as well as a good food source, but I already got enough of that. But anyway guys, that is where we are going to wrap up today's episode. I really hope that you're excited that we're now back working on the village. Next episode, we might do something different. We might have another episode dedicated to working on the village a little bit. I'm unsure at the moment, but regardless, I really hope you did enjoy this one. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.